income growth in the world at 5.4% per annum during the 24 to 33 period over the next 9 to 10 years, allowing it and other emerging economies to drive global consumption of agriculture and fisheries products over the next decade. In a big boost to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Make in India mission, the nation is all set to roll out its first country-made Airbus H125 helicopter by 2026. Head of Airbus helicopters in Bharat and South Asia, Sunny Guglani, has said that the H125 copter will be a game changer for our markets. Driven by friendly government policies, rapid urbanization and economic growth, sales volumes of commercial vehicles have nearly recovered to pre-COVID times, and according to the Indian Commercial Vehicle Conclave Chairman and Tata Motors Director Girish Wagh. Suzuki Motor Corp Executive Vice President has said that Bharat's car market is on track to reach 20 million units by 2047, helped by promising growth in battery electric vehicles. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's shift focus to the subject matter of debate. Where there should be debate, there was din and disruption. Where there should be conversation and questions asked, there was actually nothing done. A day after the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman presented her budget for the 7th time, there was full confrontation between the centre and the opposition in the House. The INDI bloc, or the India Alliance bloc, parties led by Congress Party staged a walkout from the Rajya Sabha in protest against all states except 2 being ignored. An allegation termed outrageous by the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, who said that all states never found a mention in any of the previous budgets, including those presented by the Congress Party. During his address in the Rajya Sabha, Mallikarjun Kharge stated no state got anything in the budget of Modi government. The states where people have rejected the BJP, those states got nothing from this budget. Everyone's plate is empty, and in the plate of 2 states there are pakoda and jalebi. This budget has been brought only to save his chair. The Kursi Bachao budget was again made by the opposition. Finance Minister challenged the Congress Party to review their own budget speeches to determine if they had named every state in the country, calling the opposition's allegations outrageous and unacceptable.
Anti-people budget crafted to bribe 2 political parties and buy time before the government implodes.
सबके थाली खाली और 2 के थाली में पकोड़ा और जलेबी। ये 2 छोड़ के किसी को नहीं मिला कुछ।
समर्थन मूल्य किसान को न मिल करके जो अलायंस पार्टनर जो सरकार बचा रहे हैं, उन्हें समर्थन मूल्य सरकार दे रही है।
This is a deliberate attempt of the opposition parties led by the Congress Party to give an impression to the people, oh, nothing has been given to our states, it's only been given to 2 states. Several schemes given by Honorable Prime Minister in the last 10 years have not even been implemented in West Bengal.
So where lies the truth, ladies and gentlemen? Has the government really taken the right stand? Is the opposition actually looking like the conscience of the people, or is it just merely busy trying to push its own agenda, which largely may not be based on facts? This is where the whole question lies. Let's try and go across to our guest. N Manjunath, Lok Sabha MP of the BJP, Kanimori Somu, Rajya Sabha MP of the DMK, is with us, and Krishna Prasad Teneti, Lok Sabha MP, TDP. He should be joining us, and he's there with us. And L. Hanumantaya, former Rajya Sabha MP, leader of the Congress, or supporter of the Congress, also should be with us. Let me first ask Mr. C. N. Manjunath. Namaste and Jai Hind to everybody. Thank you very much for your time. Mr. Manjunath, the allegation coming from the opposition has been consistent at one level, that it's been a Kursi Bachao budget. That just to save the government's share, they have backed only 2 of its key allies, Andhra Pradesh and Bihar. Rest of the states have been neglected. How would you respond to that?
No, actually, it's not a Kurchi Bachao budget. See, what has happened, for example, you look at Andhra Pradesh. So, it is a young state. It is a very young state, and they lost Hyderabad to Telangana during the formation of Telangana. And Hyderabad is basically, it was the one which was generating more revenue for the United Andhra. So, having lost Hyderabad to Telangana, so definitely Andhra Pradesh being a new state, it requires a more incentive, and it requires a stimulus actually for rebuilding that new young Andhra Pradesh. So, in that way, as far as the Bihar is concerned, see what has happened, Bihar is considered to be the most backward state in this country. So, naturally, in the previous, budgets, what has happened, that was not addressed, infrastructural issues were not addressed. So, developing such a backward state is a priority in my opinion. So, developing Bihar is like developing India, because Bihar is one of the biggest state and it's a backward state. So, it's just a coincidence that this particular during this third term, Narendra Modi's government has allocated more grants to Bihar. It is just a mere coincidence. It's not, I don't think it is basically to appease these partners.
Kanimori Somiji, agree, disagree?
I totally disagree on that. This is not a coincidence at all. Your third term government is only lying on the pillars of the two states which the funds has been given. If not for Chandrababu Naidu's numbers, the BJP would not have formed the government. He had requested for 2,500 crores and the project which was been given, and that was almost said by our own Prime Minister Modi years back. It is ATM fetching product, and now he has given concurrence for that, apart from the 1,500 crores which is allocated to the Andhra Pradesh. Do you think it is a joke? And our finance minister claims we cannot mention all the states. You have to, ma'am. You have to mention about all the states under your union cabinet. You are a minister for the whole of India and not for these two states alone. Every state need to be mentioned. What are their pluses? What are their minuses? How much of GST? I think Tamil Nadu is second largest state giving a large amount of GST, and we don't get it back. We have been begging for funds for the Chennai Metro Project 2 from 2021, from the time our Chief Minister M.K. Stalin came into the power. Still now, not a single penny has come from them. Every time we have to beg for our own money which we had given for the GST. Now, we have been asking for 3 flyovers projects which has not been given to us. We had a major flood, 2 floods, one in Chennai and one in the southern state of Tamil Nadu, where we asked for 3,500 crores, somewhere nearing that. Only 250 crore was given, and you give for the other states, stating that it is a flood prone area, and you are telling that you are going to develop the eastern states. And where does Andhra Pradesh come into eastern states? In the map, Andhra Pradesh has been shifted from south to east.
No.
I think our rising sign symbol is there, no, in DMK. I think they think that it is Andhra Pradesh is there.
Right. Okay.
How can it be? How can there is nothing for
Just,
madam to become outrageous on this?
I would just like to say that in the Purvodaya scheme, Andhra Pradesh was not mentioned. Odisha was mentioned. Andhra Pradesh was not mentioned by the finance minister when she said Purvodaya.
But state is also mentioned, sir. Go to the page. No. Go to page number 2. Go to page number 2. You can go and read the number of states mentioned. In that, Andhra Pradesh is also there. Please
so
go
the
and
eastern
refer to
coast,
the budget, which is
the response there, then it
by
comes. The response comes to the eastern coast, and it comes to those states who are bordering on the eastern coast and towards the east. And Andhra Pradesh is mentioned there. It is also mentioned as part of revisiting the Andhra State Reorganization Act. And in the past also, governments have very clearly mentioned that this pocket needs to, this pocket,
Okay, sir,
just hear me out, just hear me out, ma'am. This pocket also needs to be developed, yes. But Krishna Prasad Teneti ji, namaste. आरोप ये है कि कर्नाटका का क्या हुआ, विपक्ष के स्टेट्स को छोड़िए, गुजरात ने तो अच्छा मैंडेट दिया था, मध्य प्रदेश ने तो अच्छा मैंडेट दिया था, उधर भी कुछ नहीं मिला, महाराष्ट्र में भी कुछ नहीं गया, वहां तो सरकार अभी भी महायुति की है। तो ये सिर्फ 2 स्टेट्स का बजट है ऐसा कहा जा रहा है। इज इट ट्रू फॉल्स?
एब्सोल्युटली फॉल्स। आपको ये देखना है कि सेंट्रल थीम क्या है बजट का। सेंट्रल थीम इज रिवॉल्विंग अराउंड अन्नदाता, जो हमारे किसान हैं, नारी और युवा, इन 3 और कर फिर
पुअर,
गरीब, हाउसिंग स्कीम जो है गरीब। तो इन चारों के अतराव जो है सेंट्रल कोर थीम बजट का सारा यही है। और फिर से हटके देखिए, थोड़ा सा हटके देखिए, क्योंकि हम डेमोग्राफिक डिविडेंड्स की बात करते रहे, बहुत साल से करते रहे, इंतज़ार करते आए हैं। तो स्किलिंग और एमएसएमई की जब बात आती है तो अब के बार ये बजट में बहुत ही एकदम उम्दा स्कीम जो है स्किलिंग और वेरी वेरी स्पेसिफिक्स के साथ वित्त मंत्री जी ने अभी बजट में पेश किया है। तो ऐसा कभी नहीं हुआ। स्किलिंग और युवा के लिए, देश के युवा के लिए स्किलिंग और एमएसएमई के लिए, और जो इंटर्नशिप की बात करें, एम्प्लॉयमेंट के बारे में बात करें, जो 3 फार्मूला जो बताए हैं, ये कभी जो है बजट में कभी नहीं था। पहली बार हम देख रहे हैं इतना ज़्यादा जो है युवा लोगों के लिए और नारी लोगों के लिए, महिला लोगों के अभी देख रहे हैं। ये मेन मुद्दा है बजट का। बाकी का जो है, अब आंध्र प्रदेश राज्य के बारे में हम अगर इसकी जिक्र करें तो आप देखिए आंध्र प्रदेश राज्य जो है 2014 में किसने दिया स्टेट, ये भी एक बार सोचिए। राज्य ने किसने दिया है? रीऑर्गेनाइजेशन एक्ट किसने पास किया है? पूरा करके बंटवारा करके बजट क्यों नहीं दिया है? क्यों ऐसा छोड़ दिए? तो इट इज़ द यंगेस्ट स्टेट इन द कंट्री एंड विदाउट अ कैपिटल सिटी। दिस इज अट्रॉशियस। तो अभी देखिए, अगर हम तेलुगु लोग के बारे में हम अगर बात करें, पहले क्या था, बिफोर इंडिपेंडेंस तेलुगु का जो राज्य है आंध्रा, वो मद्रास स्टेट में था। तो सभी लोग मद्रास में थे। फिर नया स्टेट बना, फिर सब दौड़े, अपना सामान लेके हैदराबाद गए, वो अपना स्टेट बन के, अपना कैपिटल सिटी बन के वहाँ बसे। फिर अभी फिर बंटवारा हुआ, फिर अभी आंध्र प्रदेश आए, कैपिटल सिटी नहीं है। तो अगर राज्य में, किसी भी राज्य में, किसी भी कंट्री में अगर आप कैपिटल सिटी नहीं है, तो अब जनता जनार्दन कहाँ जाएंगे, लोग कहाँ जाएंगे?
So it was a need of the hour and it had to be addressed. It had to be addressed, आप कह रहे हैं। पर आरोप ये लग रहा है, क्या आप ये मानते हैं?
It is already delayed.
नहीं, पर आपके बजट में आपको लगता है कि इस बजट में सिर्फ इसी 2 स्टेट को दिया गया? क्या अमृतसर से कोलकाता अगर एक इंडस्ट्रियल कॉरिडोर बन रहा है तो वो कहाँ बन रहा है? सिर्फ बिहार और आंध्र प्रदेश में ही बन रहा है क्या? दूसरी बात, 12 इंडस्ट्रियल पार्क्स बन रहे हैं।
मित्रों को मैं अभी
कौन से स्टेट्स में ये इंडस्ट्रियल पार्क्स बन रहे हैं जहां प्लग एंड प्ले मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कैपेसिटी बनने वाली है? बिहार और आंध्र प्रदेश में
कॉरिडोर जो बन रहे हैं, कॉरिडोर चेन्नई तक जा रही है ना। कॉरिडोर विशाखापट्टनम कोपरती चेन्नई कॉरिडोर इज गोइंग टू चेन्नई तक जा रही है इंडस्ट्रियल कॉरिडोर। ऐसा ये गलत बात है, क्योंकि अगर ओनली फॉर द सेक ऑफ पॉलिटिक्स हम पूरे बात को भटका के पूरा उसको चेंज करके दिखाना ठीक नहीं है। ये पूरा देश के लिए जो है विकास की बात है। ये बढ़िया बजट है, एकदम प्रोग्रेसिव एडवांस बजट है।
आपको ये आपको लगता है
इंक्लूसिव भी है?
आप कह रहे हैं इंक्लूसिव है। हनुमंतैया जी, before the budget you were taunting Nitish Kumar and you were taunting Mr. Chandrababu Naidu. What will Modi give you? What is the budget going to give you? Are you going to get anything, or are you going to just be hung out to dry? Come here, we'll give you more, etc., etc. After the budget, oh, you have given everything only to them, only to them, only to them. So this is classic Goebbels, or this is a classic game that the opposition will play.
No.
That the government is damned if it does, the government is damned if it doesn't.
No. See, for the last 10 years, I was in the parliament for 6 years. The Bihar MPs and the Andhra Pradesh MPs, in almost every speech, whatever they were given the opportunity to make inside the parliament, they were demanding special status for Bihar as well as to Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh, it is a commitment. For Bihar also, it is a state which is not developed to the standard of other states. But not even a single rupee was given to them. Why now? Because they are supporting your government. Isn't it? If they were given at least a small portion of what they have given now, I would have appreciated that the government is impartial and they are taking care of the underdeveloped states. But the problem is, when you have not given 1 rupee even for 10 years when they were struggling to get it, today you are announcing such big budgets. I am not envy of any state, that I don't want to say they should not get. They should get. But what were you doing for the last 10 years? Why only now? Why not it was given, even 100 crores was not given to Andhra Pradesh and Bihar. I know that MPs were struggling for that. What is the meaning of this? The government, to save their chair, to save the government, they have now come out with a huge money to these states. Today there is a decision of all the chief ministers, that especially opposition government chief ministers, not to participate in the central government's meeting. What is the reason for that? They have not been taken care even for their due share, their justified share to be given. Karnataka chief minister said the state has been neglected so much and we are the second taxpayers in the whole country and they have not taken care of us. Tamil Nadu has said that. Maharashtra, all opposition have said that we are the first state to contribute to the nation's treasury, but we have not been taken care. Do you mean to say that we have no problems? Do you mean to say that only Bihar and Andhra Pradesh has got the problems and all other states are very happy and very rich?
That's what I'm saying. Before the budget you said, what are you giving to Bihar? Bihar needs money. Before the budget you said, what are you giving to Andhra Pradesh? Andhra Pradesh needs money. Please tell me, sir, in your vast, rich experience, how much money was allocated to the state of Gujarat, sir? Between 2004 and 2014, how much money was allocated to Gujarat, sir?
No.
In the union budget, how many times the state of Gujarat was mentioned in the union budget,
along
sir?
with that,
I'm asking you, sir. How many times was the state of Madhya Pradesh mentioned in the budget, sir? How many times were the northeastern states mentioned in the union budgets between 2004 and 2014 with concrete plans, sir? How many times were these mentioned? How many times have all states and union territories been ever mentioned by any union budget in any non-NDA government? Please tell me, sir. And then we can turn around and tell the Modi government, listen, you have not named. You can tell Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman, how dare you not name everybody? Please tell me last year's budget, how much allocation was made?
I am not asking.
No, please tell me. Please tell me 2019, 2020, how much allocation was made? 3 lakh crore has been allocated for women-led development. Has it been defined in any particular state that women-led development will not happen? Has it been said anywhere that skilling will not happen? Which are the 500 companies that are going to be identified? Are they going to be in non-BJP states? Are they not going to be in non-BJP states? Are they not going to be in outside of Bihar and Andhra Pradesh?
States, or it cannot be BJP states.
I am asking you, sir.
500 companies which are going to be given
this
job cannot be in only BJP states or non-BJP states. It cannot be.
It cannot be, right?
But
so it is everywhere. It is everywhere. Allocation is happening everywhere.
Deaf on your.
Sir, last year, I'm saying last year's budget. Last year's budget. You only said did not mention Bihar and Andhra Pradesh. It mentioned some other state. Budget before that did not mention Bihar and Andhra Pradesh. You only said.
To them. That is my point.
So now you are giving another. You are saying, you are giving. So when they did not give, you're saying they're wrong. When they are giving them, you're saying, why are you giving them now?
We were with them. No, you are wrong. You are wrong.
I am wrong.
See, we were with them when it was not given to them. We committed to Andhra Pradesh that
you committed, sir, but did you give, sir?
Status.
Mr. I am asking Mr. Teneti.
Mr. Teneti,
sir, Hanumantaya ji said we are with them. Krishna Prasad ji, they committed, did they give?
They did not give. And even now what I am saying, if you look at the eastern sector, what the Honorable Finance Minister, Vitt Mantri ji mentioned kiye hai, it is covering so many states. He also talked about the northeastern. She talked about north. So many areas she mentioned, but please kindly understand one thing. In any budget, when something is told in a generic fashion, it means every nook and corner of the country. It goes without saying, if you are talking about 500 companies, maybe 100 companies or 50 companies or 20 companies are in Bangalore. I don't know. So you can't say all these companies will be in one state. It is for the nation. It is for the country.
No, but no, sir. In
They'll be
Karnataka,
honored.
the government of the day actually wanted to create 75% reservation only for Kannadigas. That because of the furor of the corporates and because Andhra Pradesh stood up and said, okay, we will host you all, you come here, that's why it's been put on hold for the moment. But their intent is to make sure that it is reserved only for Kannadigas. Mr. C.N. Manjunath, has Karnataka been ignored in this budget, do you really believe, as a BJP MP?
Yeah, actually, what has happened, for example, you take Bangalore Metro. For example, you take Bangalore Metro, which was about 30 kilometers was the metro till 2016. Now the metro line in Bangalore city has been extended up to 78 kilometers. So definitely because the metro network has been well supported by the central government. And most importantly, because all previous years, see, another important thing I wanted to tell you is it is a 48 lakh crore budget, and we are only talking about the 60,000 package has been given to Bihar, and 15,000 package has been given to Andhra Pradesh.
So 75,000.
In this 48 lakh crore budget, 48 lakh crore budget, 32 is the 32 plus 16, 48 lakh crore budget. It is distributed across. For example, you take food subsidy, 2 lakh crores. It goes across the nation. You take fertilizer subsidy of nearly 1.2 lakh crore. It goes across.
What about the long-term interest-free loans to states for capex?
1.5 lakh crore interest-free loan has been given to the states. So in that way, it is taking care of state interest also. So definitely, because in every budget, every state cannot be mentioned. In every budget, every state cannot be mentioned. In successive years, some states which have been already given a bigger allocation will not be considered. So every year, every state cannot be given an allocation or given a mega projects.
And that's a standard thing. Kanimoriji, is it
Sir,
not unfair?
if you permit me to read out some figures.
Okay, Krishna Prasad ji,
If
let
you
me get.
permit me to read out
I'll
some
come back to you,
figures
sir.
from the
I'll
same
come back to you.
budget.
Kanimoriji has
If
not
you
spoken. All of you have
Yeah,
spoken at least
right.
twice. I think it's fair to her that she gets. Is it fair, Kanimoriji, to expect only the Modi Sarkar to mention all states when previous governments and other budgets have not done so? And this demand was not made last year. This demand was not made in 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017. When allocations happened towards Tamil Nadu for critical projects, at that time it was not. When they have done an inked deal, when a deal has been inked, ma'am, when a deal has been, one minute, when a deal has been inked with the Russians for the Kudankulam nuclear plants, who benefits?
Sir,
The Tamil Nadu does not benefit, ma'am.
Let me hold on. From the last Lok Sabha elections, not this I'm mentioning, from the last Lok Sabha elections, where Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam DMK under the leadership of M.K. Stalin, we won 39 seats, okay? That time, then we had formed the government. Till now, this minute, there is not a single fund which has come to Tamil Nadu. And we keep fighting for GST and the Chennai Metro project, and for the Ames College, everything we keep fighting and nothing comes back. Okay. Last time if the Tamil Nadu is not mentioned, why they have already, again they have not voted for you. At least now you can think of it, people have not voted for us. Why not we consider Tamil Nadu and take it into consideration? What is wrong in it? I am not saying wrong on giving it to Andhra Pradesh or to the rest of the states. Let me talk. It is not. They are our brothers and sisters, it's our neighboring states. Everybody has to be treated equally. When you take so much of consideration and so much of work you do for those two states, why don't you consider the rest of the other states also? It is like a play game. It is like a small corporate sit-up, some CEO talking. I cannot mention everybody. Yes, you need to mention. You say, no, it's my India, it's my country. The people have voted for me. They have trusted us. Then you have to talk of all the states under your cover, sir. It's not that you select.
Correct.
Some is mentioned there. Everywhere it's only North India is mentioned. None of the South Indian states have been mentioned.
So Andhra Pradesh is not South India.
Telangana is not there. Andhra Pradesh is not there.
Andhra Pradesh is not South India. So Andhra Pradesh is not South India. Andhra Pradesh is not South India. Andhra Pradesh is not South India now. Karnataka,
South India, sir. And Chandrababu Naidu is one of our best friends who has
If
been
that is the case, if that is the case, why are you grudging? Why are you grudging? When Tamil Nadu got money,
why not for Tamil Nadu?
Ma'am,
What have you
shouting
doing
at
for
me,
the
ma'am?
last 10 years?
I am asking you very clearly, ma'am.
What have you been
As
doing
far as
for Tamil
GST is
Nadu?
concerned,
And you give a
the
big
GST
zero.
Council, the
He's
GST
giving you
Council
a lion's
decides
share
the
of
decision.
GST to you, and you don't take up.
The matters
No.
have to be raised at the GST Council, and there has been an answer given by the Finance Minister in terms of what Tamil Nadu's approach is. Please understand, ma'am. If Tamil Nadu's interest was not, you have not answered my question. There is a special deal that's been inked to ensure that the remaining 2 plants and the next 2 phases of the Kudankulam nuclear plant is fueled continuously, and Russia supplies those fuels. Where is the Kudankulam nuclear plant? Is it not in Tamil Nadu? The express corridors, the industrial corridors, are they not extending into Tamil Nadu? Is it not ending into Chennai? So, ma'am, who's playing politics and who's not is also evident. 1 minute. Okay, Mr. Tenety, we can keep shouting over each other, ma'am. We can. What DMK is doing, what DMK and the opposition is doing is not politics, ma'am. What DMK and the opposition is doing is not politics. Your own DMK netas took jibes at Biharis, and today the DMK has a problem that Bihar got funds. So that question can also be asked to the DMK, ma'am. 1 minute, Mr. Krishna Prasad Tenety, you wanted to say something. Your own leaders, and they did not get censured, ma'am. Your own party leaders, the tone that they used and the language that they used with people of Bihar, at that time did they think about one India, ma'am? At that time did they think about one India? At that time did they think about one India?
If you look at rural development and the budget allocated is 2,65,000.
Let Mr. Krishna Prasad Tenety. You only raise the issue of one India, ma'am. Now let Mr. Tenety speak. Krishna Prasad.
Nothing will go to Karnataka, Telangana, and
you did, ma'am. Krishna Prasad ji. Krishna Prasad ji. If that's the case, then the DMK should have suspended and sacked all those leaders who took those jibes at the Biharis. You did not. You did not. 1 minute, Krishna Prasad Tenety.
You mean to say nothing will go to the other states?
1 minute, Krishna Prasad Tenety. Ma'am, please.
Including Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Telangana.
Ma'am, please.
Similarly, if you look at education,
you are not able to understand.
Ma'am, please yield, show respect to a fellow parliamentary.
Now look at this. These are all in lakhs.
Yes,
so these are all in lakhs. So when I talked about rural development, 2.65 lakhs, agri 1.51 lakh, education 1.25 lakh, IT and telecom 1.16, health nearly 90,000, energy nearly 70,000, social welfare 56,000, commerce and industry 47. These are all in lakhs. These are all in lakhs, not in thousands. So these will go to the entire country, including my friends in Tamil Nadu, in Karnataka and in Telangana. This goes to all over the country, not to just 1 or 2 states.
Somewhere
I've got to wind. Figures are in lakhs. Please understand.
I have to wind up on this note. My question is, so every time we turn and the states turn around and ask, what is the center giving us? It's high time in this case of competitive or cooperative federalism, we have competitive federalism saying how much are the states contributing to the nation's GDP and how much more aggressively can they do it? Can states pass some aggressive laws which will also encourage creation of wealth for Bharat, irrespective, because every state person is saying, no, give more for me, I am doing for the country. Let them start doing a little more for the country. Those who are running up debts on doles, those who are giving up freebies without saying how they are going to generate the income, those states also need to plan their finances a little better. I think responsibility lies on both sides. I've got to wind up on that note. Thank you very, very much to all our parliamentarians. Let's hope we have got more constructive sessions of parliament going forward. The opposition must question the government must listen to the opposition, but more importantly, they need to work collectively for the interest of Bharat. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen. Even as at this point, even as developing nations weigh the consequences of borrowing heavily from China for major infrastructure projects and an anti-corruption probe in Nepal into a flagship airport at Pokhara, financed and built by Chinese state-owned companies, is underway. Another major aviation tragedy has occurred at the Kathmandu airport after a small plane caught fire after skidding off the runway while taking off. CNN News 18 Group Editor Security Affairs Manoj Kumar Gupta has got us exclusive inputs on how Chinese debt diplomacy trap has left Nepal's aviation in turmoil. Now, this is a CNN News 18 exclusive. Have a look at this. Is the China debt pressure hurting Nepal aviation? Now, as per top sources close to the Nepal Aviation Ministry, China's bid to saddle Nepal into debt is actually ruining Nepal aviation, ruining in quotes. Poor leadership of Nepal aviation is causing disasters. Technical glitches normal at newly built airports. Not ready, but Pokhara Airport has been made operational. Made operational under Chinese debt pressure. Earlier, the Pokhara crash and today the accident are due to careless attitude of the Aviation Ministry. This is what's news coming through. Pokhara still not ready, but bid to make it popular under Chinese pressure. Flights like the Sonia Airlines are made to divert to Pokhara. Forceful diversion of Sonia Airlines to Pokhara. Attempt to show Pokhara is in good condition. 7 domestic and 4 international flights are operating from Pokhara. Alleged benefits to China turning Nepal into a debt trap. Aviation allegedly pushing one more airport in Nijgarh. Irrational decisions are also causing loss of billions of dollars. So it's a dangerous cycle that we're getting into. Andrew K.P. Leung, China strategist, with us, and Professor Brahma Chalani, strategic affairs expert, with us. Group Captain M.J. Vinod should also be joining us. Brahma Chalani, Andrew K.P. Leung, namaste, good evening, thank you very much. Brahma Chalani ji, what's your take on this? Would you believe that such disasters will happen more if nations succumb to pressure, or would you just subscribe this to a human error or technical fault and tragedies like this happen?
There are two issues here, Anand.
Ji.
First is the political mess in Nepal. The pro-China KP Oli, or the Marxist-Leninist Party, has returned as Nepal's Prime Minister for the 4th time this month. He is now heading the 14th government in Nepal in 16 years. 14 governments in 16 years. So you have political instability and political mess, and now the government is headed by the same oily fox, KP Oli. That's one issue. And the other issue is that China's death trap diplomacy seeks to load developing countries with unsustainable debts so as to extract economic and political concessions. It's also designed to gain greater Chinese influence. And we have seen in the case of Nepal how China uses death trap diplomacy to fund political groups, the communist groups in particular, and also fund politicians and influence media and national discourse. So Nepal has become a very porous country, porous to Chinese influence, to Chinese lobbying, and to Chinese manipulation. In this situation, corruption thrives. In fact, the Chinese death trap diplomacy is oiled through kickbacks. To influence politicians, decision makers, China tends to use its money power. It bribes politicians in weak, vulnerable countries so as to promote its strategic and economic interests. It's really unfortunate that Nepal is succumbing to Chinese pressure and even compromising its aviation safety.
Andrew K.P. Leung?
Well, thank you. Well, first of all, corruption, of course, is a global issue. It's not confined to countries like Nepal. Of course, the corruption in China, there's corruption in India, and corruption in Western countries as well. But I think that the rhetoric about that trap diplomacy reaches height with this poster boy kind of case, the Hambintota port in Sri Lanka. Of course, that was a kind of carrion call for China's Belt and Road. And since then, there is a number of studies by Western think tanks, including one based in London called the Debt Justice. And they look at the indebtedness a number of developing countries. Of course, there are some countries which had already been heavily indebted even before the inception of the China's Belt and Road. And so the Belt and Road, of course, was an added kind of burden to these countries. It's not as if these countries' debt indebtedness problem is entirely caused by China's Belt and Road. But since then, of course, there was a major Belt and Road forum in Beijing, I think in last year. And then they look at the various problems faced by the Belt and Road. Now there is the redirected. The Belt and Road is now making it smaller, cleaner, and involving more stakeholders, and definitely looking at the depth issue of the host countries more carefully. So it's not possible just to link the unfortunate aviation tragedy to that. That may have something to do with it, but I think it requires a more detailed investigation. But as far as the indebtedness or debt trap rhetoric, it is not as straightforward as some commentators want to make it to be.
Right. Group Captain Vinod.
Good to be back with you, Anand. A couple of things I wanted to, it's a combination of what both the gentlemen has covered. Not many of us are aware, especially our viewers. Here in Nepal, we have the ministry which looks after civil aviation is also looking after culture and tourism, and therefore it is called Ministry of Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation. Now look at the dichotomy. Civil Aviation Ministry looks at the safety. Tourism Ministry looks at the tourism revenue. Now, Civil Aviation Minister, as Minister himself, and currently Sudan Kirati is sitting there, he can't stamp on something which is going to trouble his own ministry. That's point number one. And in fact, the last crash, when I discussed with you the last time, I think Jan of last year, there was no minister at all. In fact, Jeevan Ram Shrestha had handed over the ministry on 26th of December. He was from that CPN Unified Socialist Party. And the Communist Party of Nepal, Maoist, had just taken over, but with no minister for this particular ministry.
Right.
Now comes the next aspect, which is the most important aspect, is the tourism industry is, in my opinion, is driving the civil aviation ministry and not the other way around. Now look at what happened today. Let's focus what happened today, because that is what is center of focus.
Right.
Today you have, what I hear from other sources of mine as well. Today you have an aeroplane which was partially repaired at Kathmandu, because this particular Sonia Airlines headquarters is in Pokhara and not in Kathmandu. Why? Because Pokhara is cheaper to have an headquarters. So they had some kind of a repair, put all the technicians and other people inside this particular aeroplane, and they were taking a partially serviceable aeroplane to Pokhara for a further repair or a full repair. So that is what is the long and short of what went wrong, apart from the fact that probably the engine partially or fully quit after V1, and secondly it entered into a aerodynamic stall, and which you can clearly see. And kudos to the pilot. He tried to somehow install the aeroplane and come out of, but he didn't have enough height to do so. But once again, the entire thing now focuses on the civil aviation safety. If they're watching this, my only submission to them would be to delineate this ministry so that they are not, working against each other. A civil aviation ministry has to be separate, and it needs to look at the aviation safety. And the culture and tourism ministry should be looking at getting more people and earning more revenue, etc.
Well, they've clubbed it, and there are multiple dynamics to this, and one does influence the other, and that is something that everybody understands. And there are multiple layers to this, and that also everybody is in agreement. Gentlemen, I have to keep this short today, but we will converse on it at length very, very soon. I thank you for your time. Thank you very, very much. We're going to take a very short break, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, it's a special report from Rashtrapati Bhavan, and there is a reason why. President Draupadi Murmu is completing 2 years in office on the 25th of July. Stay with us, something very special coming up. Namaste, Jai Hind. The Honorable President of Bharat, Srimati Draupadi Murmu, completes 2 years in office on the 25th of July. And on this occasion, the President urges all of Bharat to read more, to play more and to embrace digitization. Where am I? I'm on hallowed turf, ladies and gentlemen. Not a privilege for everybody. This is the President's very own personal library. Beautiful, steeped in history. That's the President's chair, adorned by the Ganesha right behind. He is not just the Vignaharta, but also the god of Viveka or Buddhi. And that comes only when we read. This library itself has a collection of some of the rarest of books. And what the Honorable President has done is that she has decided that we will preserve the physical copies, but digitize them and open them up to the public. But where can the public or scholars read it? Children read these books. Not here, at another very, very special place. We'll take you there, but for the moment, sample this. There's so much history here, ladies and gentlemen, and the Honorable President, upon completing 2 years in office, is urging more of Bharat to read, to play more, and also to embrace digitization. And here we are inside the President's own personal library. It's a very rare privilege that we've got an occasion to come here and see where she is. That's her chair right behind us, and standing next to us is the OSD research at the Rashtrapati Bhavan, Sunilji. Sunilji, namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. Does the President read often?
She does. And to add to that, as you said, this is a place where the President of India comes for some personal time to read, reflect, introspect. It's a quiet place, a small personal library which is about 2,500 books in all. But in totality, in Rashtrapati Bhavan, there are a large number of bookshelves scattered all over the place, and the total number of books, including the study of the Honorable President of India, will go well beyond 30,000, I should say 35,000 books. So she took upon herself the idea of modernizing this library, which is an archival library in a large measure. So the idea is that what she wants is that the books don't get touched physically.
Okay.
The old books, they are digitized, people get to have access to them. So on the one hand, we are opening up the library to a larger number of people, and on the other hand, we are preserving the books from
because
the
some
physical
books are about
contact,
400 years old. I've seen books which are in from the late 1790s and 1800s here.
Yeah, very old books. And to add to what you're saying, that this library was populated with books in 1929 to 31.
I have with me someone who's been associated with this library for nearly 4 decades, if not more. SNS प्रकाश जी, नमस्ते। नमस्ते। आप कब से इस लाइब्रेरी से जुड़े हैं?
1983 से।
1983 से, तो नियरली 40 इयर्स तो हो गया। तो क्या चेंज हुआ है इस लाइब्रेरी में?
काफ़ी चेंज हुआ। उस टाइम तो सारे रैक्स अंदर लाइब्रेरी के अंदर थे। ड्यूरिंग 2013 some we kept only rare books here, removed other books to other places. बाकी जगह हमने शिफ्ट कर दिया।
शिफ्ट कर दिया है। Does President Draupadi Murmu come here often?
Yeah.
What kind of books does she like to read when she comes here?
She saw that some rare books here, curtain and other photos. She said, "Don't let anybody touch these books. उसका पूरा digitize करा देगा. We will keep digital books in PC. Any scholar can come and see the books."
See the books. So the digitization process is her initiative.
Yeah.
Does she like to read?
Yeah.
She likes to read.
Yeah.
And she reads often. उनकी स्टडी में या यहाँ पर?
उनकी स्टडी में पढ़ते हैं, but they do demand books from here. We keep supplying the books to them.
तो और उनकी इंटरेस्ट किस तरीके के सब्जेक्ट्स में उनका इंटरेस्ट है प्रेसिडेंट मुर्मू का?
ज़्यादा नॉर्मली पॉलिटिकल और बच्चों के ऊपर बुक्स भी इंटरेस्ट है।
Well, as the Rashtrapati Bhavan members told us that the Rashtrapati Bhavan has nearly 35,000 books. I'm right outside the Pranab Mukherjee Public Library, so this is an extension of the President's Library. On the event of the Honorable President Srimati Draupadi Murmu completing 2 years in office, the digitization drive is also picking up momentum. So while there are multiple sections here with the office, the newspaper, magazine, library, the children's section, the presidential collection, constitutional matters, reference selection, and also the library all around us, there are multiple facets for interest. This is very interesting now, ladies and gentlemen, the IT and the Learning Hub. And why? Because those old books that we showed you inside the President's Library, now are digitized and accessible to scholars, researchers, and also the general public to read. Come on in, I'll show you how. Right, so as we walk in, so you have a whole set of these desktops which are kept here and where you can access it as part of the e-Granthalaya. Now look at this. This is the William Hogarth book, which is the oldest book in the President's Library as per the librarian. So this has now been via catalogue from the page, cover to cover, it's been brought forth and it's been digitized. So is the Constitution of Bharat. So the original Constitution of Bharat also there. Have a look at it. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign democratic republic with all the calligraphy beautifully handwritten and beautifully done. So that's the original constitution. Now, have a look at this. This is the book on Tipu Sultan. 1799, Tipu was killed by the British. And in 1800, the full book of what happened, a view of the origin and conduct of the war with Tipu Sultan. This is how the British pronounced his name, T-I-P-P-O. So this is the book. Now it's been totally, fully digitized. It's been written by Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Beetson. Alexander Beetson was the man who led the charge. He was the general who was in charge of that group that defeated Tipu Sultan. And it's the old book. See, look at the pages. They're all the worn out pages which have now been digitized. And there you go. This is special, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Kendriya Vidyalaya inside the Rashtrapati Bhavan, but the foundation stone itself was laid by Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Most of our presidents, or many of our presidents, have been scholars, teachers, educationists, including the Honorable President Srimati Draupadi Murmu, who's a teacher herself, and to mark completion of 2 years in office, she's going to be walking into this very school inside the President's estate to interact with the students of grade 9 and also teach them. Let's go and meet those students. I'm walking through the corridors of the Central School at the Presidential Estate, and this has been active from the time of Rajendra Prasad ji. Something very special is going to happen. The Honorable President is a teacher herself. So she said she will mark 2 years in office by taking a class here at the Central School itself. And we're going to go inside the classroom where the students are waiting for her very eagerly. Come on in. नमस्ते, आप सबको नमस्ते. Lovely, love the energy. आप लोग सब excited हैं? क्यों excited हैं? क्यों?
क्योंकि कल
बैठे
क्योंकि कल प्रेसिडेंट से मिलना आई थी.
प्रेसिडेंट से मिलना है आपसे. अच्छा, आप में से कोई पहले उनसे मिल चुका है? अरे वाह, 1 2 3 4 आप लोग सब उनसे मिल चुके हैं. कहाँ मिली थी आप? प्रोग्राम में आर्मी डे प्रोग्राम में आप मिली थी. तो आपकी उनसे बात हुई थी? बात नहीं हुई. फिर क्या किया, कैसे मिली आप उनसे?
फोटो क्लिक करवाई थी उनके साथ.
फोटो क्लिक करवाई थी. अब तो वो सामने यहाँ खड़ी होंगी आपके सामने.
यस सर.
है ना?
यस सर.
तो कल आप यहीं बैठेंगी कि पीछे बैठेंगी? आप भी मिली हैं?
सर ये मेरा 4th टाइम है. बाकी मैंने योगा परफॉर्मेंस की थी जब मैं मिली थी.
तो आप 4th टाइम प्रेसिडेंट द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी से कल मिलेंगी. उनसे बात हो पाई है?
यस सर. उन्होंने नाम पूछा था.
नाम पूछा था. कैसा लगा?
बहुत अच्छा.
अच्छा लगा. अच्छा, आपको अच्छी लगती है प्रेसिडेंट? हाँ. क्यों?
सर क्योंकि वो हमारी प्रेसिडेंट है.
प्रेसिडेंट है. प्रेसिडेंट नहीं थी तब वो क्या थी? जब वो गवर्नर नहीं थी उससे पहले क्या थी? क्या थी? टीचर थी, है ना? तो इसीलिए कल फिर से वो टीचर बन के आपके साथ आ रही हैं. करेक्ट. ओके. मैं आप सबसे पूछना चाहता हूं, कल वो आपसे किस विषय में बात करने वाली? व्हाट इज शी गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट? नेचर एंड एनवायरनमेंट. आप में से कोई है जो आगे जाके इस देश का प्रेसिडेंट बनना चाहता है या बनना चाहती है? हाँ, आप बनना चाहती है प्रेसिडेंट. आपका नाम?
अस्बिया.
अस्बिया. सो यू वांट टू बी द प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ आवर कंट्री?
यस सर.
सो यू विल आस्क हर. आप पूछेंगे उनसे कि मैम मैं प्रेसिडेंट कैसे बन सकती हूँ?
यस सर.
है? पूछेंगे आप? Fantastic. They're going to have a fun time, ladies and gentlemen. We've had a great time. Now it's over to the Honorable President herself because this class is for her.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree for humanity, one tree for Mother Earth, one tree for a future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
Introduce.
CNN News 18 and Federal Bank Primetime Studio.
Good evening, this is Brass Tacks. I'm Zaka Jacob. We're coming to you live from the CNN News 18 and Federal Bank Primetime Studio. The political uproar over the Union Budget 24-25 continues in Parliament, even as the discussion on the finance bill has begun in the Houses. The opposition's biggest bone of contention against the budget is that it is heavily skewed towards just two states, Andhra Pradesh and Bihar. Now that, the opposition says, is not for any altruistic reasons. It is born out of pure political compulsion. And that is because the Modi government is dependent on support from allies in these two key states, that's Chandrababu Naidu and Nitish Kumar. The government's counter to this is that just because some states' names were not taken during the budget speech, and remember, the budget speech is a condensed version of the entire finance bill,